Welcome to the Disability Channel special presentation. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan, and we're very excited here. We're at our new location, Artscape, at Winchwood Barns, St. Clair on Christie. Come and join us. Again, we're at Winchwood Barns. We're very excited with Artscape. Thank you. It's a wonderful facility. I'm here with 4 wonderful panel members. We're very excited as I have Brandon on my left, Nick to his left, Cliff, and Smiley. Guys, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it. Today is all about awareness and education. We're going to get a first-hand view from our hosts and their daily trepidations throughout life. But before we do that, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. We are going Facebook Live, so please join us, comment. We'd love to hear your comments on what's going on around the world and society today. And we're all about bringing awareness to the disability community. So what I want to do today first is I want to talk about understandings, misconceptions, and assumptions. So I'm going to pass it off. I want all the guests here to introduce themselves. So why don't we go through that first, and then we'll get into some really dynamic questions. So Brandon, if you take it away, please introduce yourself and along with your ability.
Of course. So my name is Brandon Schifoni, and I have a combination visual and hearing impairment. I'm almost totally blind and have a moderate hearing impairment as well. Great.
And Brandon is actually going to be starting on our show as a host in the upcoming year, so stay tuned. Nick, take it away, please.
Yes, I'm Nicholas Hurt. I'm the host of Keeping It Real with Nick.
And your ability?
And I have Down syndrome.
There you go. Cliff, yourself?
My name's Cliff McIntosh, and I have autism, and I am the co-host of Hockey Hat Trick with Miko and Cliff.
Awesome. And yourself, Smiley?
My name is Paul Evans, aka Smiley, and I am partially paralyzed from waist down. I will be hosting the cooking show for the Toronto disability community.
And he's an awesome chef. We're going to be eating his food all the time. So again, I want to thank everybody for coming on the show today. It's an honor to have everybody. What I'd like to do is get right into and talk about assumptions. And I'm going to start with Brandon. Brandon, what are some of the major things that you hear from people that they assume about your makeup?
Well, I joke a lot about this, I have to be honest. I have a very, very kind of eccentric sense of humor when it comes to my disability. And one of the things that I often joke about is the volume of the voice. When people who approach me and aren't exactly sure how to interact, so they'll come and they'll come to see if I need some assistance, and they'll basically start yelling at me, thinking that I don't really know what they think. But there is obviously an assumption there. The other one that I find amazing is assuming that in order to know what you look like, I need to feel your face.
Wow, that is
Really?
like that is insight that's amazing. Like we would never know that. And this is, I think, what people have to realize in society today, that just because you look different or maybe you have a different ability, get to know that person, because you know what? They'll shock you.
Well, that's it. And that's more important to me. Like, I don't need to feel your face. I'm more interested in the person that you are as opposed to, you know, what you look like. And it's just, people assume that I either need to or want to feel their face, and it's honestly, it's a little amusing to me, really.
That's a wonderful perspective. And Nick, yourself, what do people assume about you that they shouldn't?
Well, I know I have Down syndrome, but I want everybody to look at me as a person with Down syndrome. I want them to look at me as a person. Like, see the ability and get to know the person. Like, acknowledging them, that you are part of their world like we are part of their world. We like to be the same like everyone else. Just like you.
That's wonderful, Nick. That's wonderful. And Cliff, yourself, what do people assume about you when they meet you that they probably are wrong? What would you say?
Well, I think as an autistic, I think one thing that people could assume about me is my social skills and my ability to interact with other people, because as a matter of fact, I wasn't actually high functioning as I am today right now until I was about 5 or 6 years old, meaning I was able to talk when I was 2 or 3, but I didn't really understand what all those words meant until I was like 6. And people back then assumed stuff like, oh, Cliff's not gonna learn to tie his shoes. Oh, Cliff's not gonna learn to ride a bike or stuff like that. But then I got a really good life-changing treatment called IBI. That stands for Intensive Behavior Intervention, and I had it from when I was 3, and I continued to do it after I started talking with people when I was 5 and up until I was 9. And if I didn't really get that treatment that I needed back then, I couldn't imagine what my life would be like today, and I totally wouldn't have been on this channel right now. But back then, people were assuming lots of crazy things about me, and I just went out there and proved them wrong. And now, not only am I the co-host of Hockey Hat Trick with Miko and Cliff, I am also a play-by-play commentator for hockey, as I do work for the Toronto Predators Junior A hockey team.
Wow, thank you for educating us. That's amazing, buddy. That's great. That's great. That's great. Okay, Smiley, you're up, buddy. Tell us about your life.
Well, for me, my injuries is new, right? I'm a victim of crime. Being entrepreneur with 3 businesses. I was working one night covering a DJ party for these St. Lucian DJs, and just before the night was ended, a fight took place in the banquet hall, and everybody started to clear out. And as I was packing up my equipment, some guys were watching me for my jewelry and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So just as everybody cleared the banquet hall, the back door opened up, and then 4 or 5 shots popped off, and I turned around, I got them on video, right? As I came in, one was a decoy, had a hoodie over his head, runs in, just popping off random shots. Lady got shot in her leg, and then the other guy came, gave me 4 shots. The last one hit me in the spine, so I'm partially paralyzed from waist down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 41 years on my feet and 5 years in the chair thus far.
5 years so far.
Mhm.
We're going to talk about the changing life aspects of what that happened to you.
Yes.
And Smiley, like I said, he's also going to be hosting our food show, so that's wonderful. We're very excited. I have to thank everybody for sharing, because I know it's a lot, right, to share sometimes. So I really thank you, and I just want everybody to know that all 4 members up here are part of our employment programs that is offered by Alware in a disability channel. So we're trying to improve the landscape of Canada, whether that's through education, through awareness, and of course through employment. So the members you see here on the panel are just doing a fantastic job, and this is the voice. We are the voice for our community, and we would like everybody to join in. We are an open door. You have any type of disability, if you're looking for support, if you're looking for a new friend, if you're looking for employment, do give us a call or just check out our website, thedisabilitychannel.ca. What I want to move to now is I want to say, Brandon, now let's talk about maybe some of your attributes that people don't know. Because they're assuming, they make an assumption when they meet you, and they shouldn't do that. So somebody gives you an opportunity, what would you say, I'm going to wow them with?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I think it kind of goes back to what Nick said, is them more seeing you as a person. And it's interesting because there's a lot of focus on disability, and not so much on who I am as a person. And I've been doing a lot of public speaking recently, and I think many of the people in my circle have gotten to know me better that way, in terms of what my sense of humor is like, in terms of how I am as a person, the kind of systems I've developed to sort of overcome my challenges and whatnot. And I think that's what people sort of overlook a lot too, is my ability to be resourceful and adapt to my environment, because they're so kind of afraid to talk about the elephant in the room. And to a degree, I understand. I mean, I understand that people are afraid to talk about what they don't understand, and a lot of times they're a little afraid to offend, or they think I might be not willing to talk about it and whatnot. But I think that's one of the big things that I'd like to wow them with, is really opening up their eyes to the fact that my disability is not who I am. It's just simply another part of my personality.
And I think that's this is what really has to be conveyed to people, right? Yeah, I may have an obstacle that I have to overcome daily, but that doesn't define me, right? Just give me the opportunity. Now, Nick, I want to ask you a little bit different question, because Nick, by the way, he's the veteran on the panel here, because he's been doing your show for probably, 5 or 6 months now, Nick?
Probably since February, actually.
Yeah, so almost coming up, 3/4 of a year almost. So tell me about the dynamics that, since you've started your show on the channel, how have people, whether it's your family, your friends, associates, people that don't like you, I'm sure there's not many of those, but I'm just saying, tell us how those people have reacted with your show.
Well, I know people like my family and people I've known that've seen the show, Keeping It Real with Nick. I got a lot of positive comments from people I know and don't know. Some people really liked it, and that how everybody is part of everybody, and that I communicate with others. I know I was discriminated when I was just a baby, but you know what? Screw it. Well, I survived it, but you know what? I may have Down syndrome, but you know what? If they can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
That's what your mother always says, right? If you can't say anything nice, don't say it at all. So I wanted to ask you, what is the show done personally for you?
So, the show, Keeping It Real with Nick, had made a huge impact on me. It was when I got involved with Tangled Arts 2 years ago.
Tangled Arts?
It was founded when I started that program 2 years ago. A year ago, I started the video with a few friends of mine, with Janet and Cheryl, who are one of the founders of Soul Express. I'm one of the main founders of Soul Express. I've been doing it for the past 10 years.
Wow.
We're going to be celebrating our 10th anniversary this year. So it's been around for a long time. So I got them on board as a video as a start of Keeping It Real with Nick, which was a project I started 2 years ago through Tangled Arts, and that's how I got in. And then, months later, I got involved with the Disability Channel through 2 more friends I've known, who was Kiri Paputs and Michael McKenzie through Large Toronto, and they got me, and then they talked to me about it. They came to approach me, and then they got me connected with Jay Stoyan, and we met back in February this year, and from there, the show has kicked off, and now months later, I got an email, and asked by Jay Stoyan himself to be the host next year at the TIFF. And when I got that email, I was surprised and happy, because film has been part of my life since forever. And I'm looking forward to being the host of the Toronto International film festival next year, and I'm really looking forward to it. And personally, I'd like to say thank you to Jay Stoyan for helping and supporting me to get there to the TIFF next year.
Oh, you're welcome, Nick. And you know what? I have to add, you do a wonderful job on your show because all of your guests.
Yes, and he was on my show recently this year as well as a guest.
That's great. Cliff, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, tell us about the dynamic of your play-by-play. So tell us how much you love doing a play-by-play and how it sort of attaches to your show, to your sports show.
So when I was in that little treatment, the IBI that I was doing when I was like 7 or 8, my workers started to get me into hockey, and I've been watching hockey ever since. And I thought to myself one night when I was living in Orangeville in a group home there, I thought, what can I do in a career that involves hockey? Because I love hockey so much. It's been my favorite sport for a while now, and I thought about playing, but then I wasn't really good. But then I thought, what can I do? And then I thought up of play-by-play as I was listening to, I was watching a game on TV and I was listening to their play-by-play guy, and I didn't really like it, so I tried doing commentary myself, and one of my housemates in that group home in Orangeville actually really liked it and said, you need to make a career out of this, you're really good. And then I ended up getting a job with a junior A team that played in Orangeville and they were known as the Orangeville Ice Crushers. And I worked for the Ice Crushers from January 6th, 2016, when I was just 15 years old, until January 18th, 2017, which was the day that I was supposed to call a game for the Ice Crushers, but instead I found out that that was the day that the team folded. And I ended up without a play-by-play job for a day, and then by the time the Ice Crushers folded, I was living back home with my family again, as I moved back with my family in May of last year in 2016. And however, I was still working with the Ice Crushers, but then when the Ice Crushers folded, I was trying to I thought up of 3 teams in that same league that play in the Toronto area, and I chose the Toronto Predators, and I called my first game with the Toronto Predators exactly 3 days after the Ice Crushers folded, January 21st. So breaking it down, January 18th, I was supposed to call a game for the Ice Crushers, but instead I found out that they folded. January 19th, I sent an email to the Toronto Predators owner. January 20th, he got back to me and said, I know that you've been working in Orangeville for the past year and we're looking to try you out. And he said that I can call the game on the 21st, and on the 21st I did an audition by calling a game, and he liked me, and I've been calling Toronto Predators games ever since.
Wow, that's an inspiring story. Congratulations. So we gotta check out the Predators.
And
Yeah, sure.
And later in 2017, I got noticed by Miko, and he told me that he was hosting a show called Hockey Hat Trick, and however, he told me he wasn't having much success because he wanted a co-host and he was having a little challenge because it was just him. And then he knew about me, and because he knows my parents, and then he got me on the Disability Channel.
That's great, Miko. All right, Cliff, that's great. See that? And we have the world's only sports show. The world's only sports show with 2 hosts who have autism. So we're so proud. So proud and honored to have Miko and Cliff on our dial. We want to get a perspective. Now, this is a really good perspective I'd like to get from you, Smiley, and I think you could really share a lot of education, share your point of view. So, like you said, for 41 years, you were an able-bodied person.
That's correct.
5 years ago, you got shot, and now you're still an able-bodied. You're just in a wheelchair able-bodied, right?
That's
So,
correct.
tell us the perspective. Tell us what you went through, how you feel today between, you know, going from one situation to the other, as much as you want to share. I understand.
Well, you know, I mean, it's life, man. Life is written. For me, I say, you know, it's all written, man. When my injury happened, all the people that knew me couldn't believe that it was me, because for my personality, persona and stuff, they didn't believe it at all. You know what I mean? So when I was at the hospital, man, people had to come down to see it for themselves, and so many people came, but a lot of them never got to see me, man, because it was just so much, you know.
So upsetting.
Yeah, you
So
know,
upsetting.
a lot of people took it hard, man.
Well, I think you can be a true inspiration to people who, you know, are able one day and then they're disabled. Not that they're not able, they're still able, but it's different. So I think you can be really inspiring to a lot of people in that situation.
Well, yeah, I am, and a lot of people are inspired by me, per se. This, you know, the whole perspective to the injury and my profession and stuff, you know. And they see the positivity. There's not a negative bone in this body.
You ooze positivity. I noticed that from the first day we met. You're very positive, always smiling, always talking about great things, vision. You're always looking to get stuff done.
Well, you know, even the guys that did it, we end up finding out who they were. But you know, it's like I just let it go.
It's over.
Yeah,
It's
you know, it doesn't pay to be negative and down on yourself, feeling sorry. You know.
I agree. Okay, that's great. Well, we just heard 4 super inspiring stories. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned and we'll be back with the Disability Channel. Welcome back to the Disability Channel. I'm your moderator, Jay Stoy. We're here with 4 excellent panel members. We have Brandon to my left, Nick, Cliff, and Smiley. Now, they're all involved in our employment programs, as they are now new employees, or will soon be new employees on our channel. They're also hosts of television shows, so you have to check them out. Again, Nick, he hosts Keeping It Real. He has Down syndrome. For all the Down syndrome people out there, you can do it. Prime example, Nick's one of our greatest hosts, and hey, you can do it too. So again, check us out, thedisabilitychannel.ca. We have Cliff over here. Cliff has autism. He hosts a hockey show with another gentleman, Miko, who also has autism. We have Brandon, who's a blind gentleman, who's going to be starting a show on our dial later this year. And of course, we have Chef Smiley, the best cook in the city, best chef in the city. He's going to be starting a show on our dial. So we're very excited to have these gentlemen. There's so many more great people on our team. If you want to join our team, do email me, jay@thedisabilitychannel.ca, or you can go to our website, www.thedisabilitychannel.ca. Before we get started again, I want to thank Artscape. It's our new location up here in Christie and St. Clair area. If you've never been to Artscape or Winchwood Barns, I would spend the time and take the trip. The people here are wonderful. The environment, the setting, the landscape. What a great place for Toronto. Again, that's Artscape. And I do want to mention we've already started a new fundraising platform called Virtual Walk with our spokesman Tyrone Poole, 2-time NFL Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots, who just had a spot the other day. He texted me he was on CNN International. So we're very excited. Again, this is a fundraiser for you, for your organization. Let us raise funds for your organizations so we can make you existent and stay sustainable and profitable. So again, you're joined here for a special presentation put on by the Disability Channel. I'm your moderator, Jay Stoyan. We're talking about awareness and education. And what I'd like to get into now, guys, is sort of the policy angle. Now, of course, we're not going to go right into policy, but I'm going to go around the table here. And Brandon, regarding your ability, what would you like to see Toronto, Canada improve on?
In terms of the visual aspect, and if I can, I want to nip this kind of in the butt from both the visual and the hearing perspective.
Sure.
So from the vision perspective, it's more just about a continuous awareness of the capabilities, and actually, I like to focus kind of on education almost, in the sense of more kind of interactive, blind-friendly materials being available in the classrooms for those people who are coming up, because I find that a lot of the people who kind of develop challenges, like the bigger challenges around blindness, it starts in the classroom, and being able to be inclusive in the classroom and take part and kind of find their niche, what they're good at. And I think that all starts with having the more accessible, blind-friendly things in the classroom. On the hearing level, it's kind of the same thing, and the problem that I'm actually having is more around the post-secondary, and they're doing great things, and so that's the thing I want to kind of commend the AODA Society and all those people for doing what they've done so far. I mean, all the changes so far have been amazing. It's just more about making sure that we get a little more fine-tuned, a little bit more organized with the things that are on the floor right now. So in post-secondary, for people who are hearing impaired, they offer note-taking services.
Okay.
And we just there's been some kind of disorganization around that in terms of making sure everyone who needs them kind of has access to them, making sure that everyone has access to kind of the same educational material. And I think even as we grow and as we change, as we build, we're going to see more of that. So I'm very, very optimistic about the implementation of all that. It's just from the ground up, I'd like to see kind of a more boots on the ground approach to getting that all implemented.
And I think that is a great perspective because you live it every day. So it's coming right from, I don't want to say from the horse's mouth, but you know what I mean? From the horse's mouth, because yeah, you live it and you are a wealth of knowledge to say, this is working great, this needs to be improved, but we have to commend everybody because they are trying. So
Yeah,
I think that's great that you mentioned that. Nick, yourself, regarding your Down syndrome, what would you like to see more prevalent, more positive, new ideas? What do you think?
What I think, what I have seen the news lately, from the Down syndrome perspective, especially, that I like to see change is our Toronto, the police area. Someone I knew was discriminated against by our police force. This year, which I found out back in June, which when I found that part out, I was like shocked and that they did that, which I find discriminational, but I felt no security. I didn't feel secure that much when I found that out. And that everybody should see that we are people just like they are, and that we're people too. We have feelings as everybody else does in this world, and that they need to see us the way we see them. I know they are doing their jobs. I know it's their job to do what they need to do as police, but not saying and not discriminating against people who are different than they are. But they need to see us, not just people with Down syndrome, even you guys too, that we are the same, that we're equal of each other, and that each of us is part of all of us. We should celebrate our human rights, which some of us do and some of us don't. I don't want to be negative about our country, Canada, but still, that needs to be more improved, even more.
That's a great
in our country. Like, our police officers should be educated about people who are different from them and take courses about people who are different than they are, and they should accept people like us, even around the world. So it's not just them focus on themselves, and focus on people who are different than they are, and also not thinking about just themselves, also think about other people around them, like their awareness and how they should embrace everybody as well.
That's a great point, Nick. I just got to add to that, because what I took from that and from what Nick added is the police officers who did that terrible blunder, right?
Yes.
Everybody makes mistakes, but I don't think they realized how hurtful they were.
Yes.
It was extremely hurtful for people in our community, because we love our police.
We do.
We love our police, they're leaders, they're who we look up to. And for police officers to make fun of somebody who looked different, it was more than they should have done that, more than they need to be. It was really hurtful.
Yes, it was.
It was very hurt, and I think they learned. I think they realized, I hope they realized,
I hope that too.
that the backlash that they received, maybe it opened up their eyes and it educated them a little bit, right? It made them aware, and it educated them to say, wow, we made a mistake. We didn't realize maybe that it hurt people that much. Well, it did. And let's hopefully we can move on from that experience,
Yeah.
that lesson, and take it away, and everybody kind of learns and moves on, because people make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right?
I know people. Me personally, I don't hate police officers. I don't. Normally, no. Me, I never do.
Good.
But still, they should be more educated, just like all of us do as well. We also educate each other, and
Great.
that is what we should bring for ourselves and for other people out there.
Community.
Okay, Cliff, yourself, regarding your ability, right, your autism, tell us what you would like to see improved that helps you personally.
One big issue in Canada is autism, and I have been extremely lucky to get the help that I needed, but I've heard of lots of people. As most of you know, my parents are known for running a group called the Ontario Autism Coalition, and my mom, who is the vice president, Laura Kirby-McIntosh, is also the host of Autism in Action on the Disability Channel. And one thing that I think needs to be worked on is support for autistic kids in schools. Like this IBI thing that I kept on talking about is very helpful, and it can actually help autistic kids try to succeed and gives them lots of hope. But I'm hearing about this one child in the Mississauga area in school, and you might have heard of this case in the news. The child's name is Jack Skirt, spelled S-K-R-T. Yes, that's how it's spelled. And the school board denied him to get support in the school. And his mom, Beth Skirt, has filed a case against the school board, and they're actually looking to take it all the way up to the Supreme Court of Canada if they have to.
Wow, that's very interesting.
And I actually never got that support in school, and I actually ended up having to do extra things outside of school, like in the afternoons and the evenings and on the weekends, because my family has always been really busy. Because my parents have been running the Ontario Autism Coalition since it started in around 04, 05. I think it started in early 2005, and
So you think more education in the schools?
more education. And another thing that I think about the whole education thing is accommodating autism service dogs, because most of you probably don't know this, but I actually have an autism service dog, and I have actually had that service dog. His name's Basil. He's a black lab, and I've actually had him for over 6 years, but he's not with me right now as I'm on the show and I want to look professional and all. But
You can bring your dog on anytime.
well, I want to look more professional, and that's understandable. But one thing that I think should be worked on is the accommodation of autism service dogs in schools, because I take my service dog to school with me every day, as I go to a school in Thornhill, and the principal there is actually a former head of special education, so he really knows what he's doing, and he said he could totally accommodate my service dog. But yet you're hearing about another case in the Kitchener-Waterloo area where this young man, who's a good friend of mine, Kenner Fee, he is being denied access to have his service dog in school, and his parents, Craig and Amy Fee, filed a human rights case against the Waterloo Catholic Board, and they took it up to the Human Rights Tribunal, but they lost. They lost their case, and nobody knows if they're going to appeal it yet, but they definitely should, because it's a human right to have a service dog, not just an autism service dog, any kind of service dog, like a seeing eye dog, or a seizure response dog, or a special skills dog for someone in a wheelchair in a school. And
Wonderful.
This thing about service dogs should definitely have, there's still lots of work to be done with this issue, and I'm actually looking to form an advocacy group sometime in the future that'll focus on the issue about service dogs, not just in schools, but all over in public. And
That's wonderful insight, Cliff. So education and service dogs. You know what? I'm gonna come to you more, because this is what you just shared is a life experience. Like, you know, because you live it. So you know how much a dog can help you. You know how much education in the schools from a young age can help you and others like you and other people with disabilities. So this is wonderful. Let's move to Smiley, and then we're going to take a quick break. So Smiley, tell us, with your situation in the last 4 or 5 years, what have you noticed that can be really improved, sort of thing, when you get going around the city?
Yeah, well, I would just say, you know, for more places, or the city itself, to just be more accessible. You know, for instance, if I got a caterer and then I'm in a certain part of the city and, you know, end up going to a store, say maybe to pick up some vegetables, it's so hard to maneuver, you know, right in the store, because you feel like you're gonna bang a turnover.
And how do you think that might take place? What would you recommend? Like, because you're in a wheelchair, so you live it every day. So you know what's good, what's not good, what needs to be improved. So what would you recommend? Would you recommend
The place that,
get the city to hire you?
Yeah, you know, that would be good. Just the city just in all of this needs to be more accessible, man, for everybody, period. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, like I said, with the wheelchairs, it's like, you know, the door width is it's a certain size, right? You can't even go. You have to ask. For instance, you'll have to ask the pedestrian or
Help
whoever
you.
to, you know, they offer to help because they see that, you know,
Yeah.
I'll get that for you. All right, thank you very much. You know,
Well, if
appreciate
it's
it.
not there.
Right. You know, but you know, you want to do it by yourself, but you can't do it because it's not accessible. For
So
you,
more
you know?
accessibility.
More accessibility, main thing.
Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a quick break.
I'm gonna weigh in just one more.
Yeah,
point.
sure, Brandon, yeah.
Okay, so just real quick, just on this topic, as I'm sure you're aware at this point, I can't drive.
Okay.
So what I'd like to put in as a point to what I'd like to see changed is, for the sake of all of us, please stop attacking Uber guys. Like, they're wonderful. They've been the godsend in terms of getting around and being able to do things on a more, I guess, restricted budget. So I'd like to see everyone stop attacking this wonderful service that I've grown to love, because it's helped out quite a bit.
That's a great point. That's a great point. We'll leave it on that. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the Disability Channel. Welcome back to the Disability Channel. What an afternoon we've had. I want to thank our 4 panel members. Guys, you were great. Great insight, great awareness, great education, great stories. So inspiring. Before I let everybody go, I just want one word when I say, what do you think of when I say the Disability Channel, Brandon?
Enlightenment.
Nick?
Fantastical.
Cliff?
Say, I think one word, I think it's really inspiring.
Smiley?
I'd say opportunities.
Opportunities, I love that. And I just say God bless, because I love everybody here on the set. I want to thank everybody. We are going live on Facebook, so do comment. It would be amazing to hear your comments, your suggestions. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. If you're looking for a job and you're on ODSP or you're on Ontario Works, go to our website, thedisabilitychannel.ca. We'd love to help you. We'd love to support you. We'd love to get you back in the workforce for the first time or just rejoining. Again, you're watching the Disability Channel. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan. We'll see you next time.